Hey, all you minties, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for a look inside of the Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 3 from Dark Horse Comics, so please stay tuned. So here we have the final volume of Hellsing in Deluxe Edition format. Before going any further, a huge thank you to Organic Price Books for sending us a copy of this Deluxe Edition hardcover. So here's the front, the spine, and the back. Now, one of my favorite things to do is showcasing how all of these will look together on a bookshelf. So here we have volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's crazy that this is the very first deluxe edition from Dark Horse that is completed. All 10 volumes of the original tankobon are collected in here. So all these little books are in these 3 volumes. Now, whether they collect the covers or the extras here in the 3rd volume, well, we're going to find that out for sure. But yeah, it's a sight to see. This has been a long time coming. I was a big fan of this series. I still have my Borders stickered back there. Rest in peace, Borders. But yes, as a big fan of this series, I'm going to talk just a little bit about it without giving any spoilers away. But keep in mind that this is the 3rd and final volume, so there might be just a little bit of spoilers. Not very much, but I do like to warn people ahead of time. And I've done overviews of volumes 1 and 2, so let's go ahead and get started with the overview of this particular volume. But I did want to state that it does come with its own little leaflet, just like the other volumes. It's all shrink wrapped in plastic. Here's the shape of the cross right there. Much like the Berserk volumes, it's embossed, the brand of the sacrifice. Here is a cross. It's beautiful books. They all have this leather look to them. Alright, let's go ahead and get this open and talk about it. This is a sticker. It does come off. I don't know why I haven't taken it off yet. So let's get this opened. We have some red bookend pages here. Of course, what other color would it be? Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 3 by Kohta Hirano. And here are the table of contents. Now, the exciting things for at least me, and I'm sure everybody else that had the smaller tankobons, are these down here. The extras. The Crossfire chapters are in here, as well as the cover gallery. And we're going to find out if it's in black and white or if it's in color. Now, this is going to be a little difficult to talk about because we're talking about the final chapters of Hellsing. So there have been some changes made to Alucard, and he's going to keep changing because that's what his character does. And I don't just mean psychologically. He's going to be changing physically. So I'm going to skip some pages to kind of get to some battle sequences. There are some quote-unquote newer characters that appear. Here's Alexander Anderson, not at his best, fighting Alucard. So all the members of Hellsing are back. Well, the remaining members of Hellsing, that is. So you have Integra's back, Saras is back, Alucard is back, Walter's back. And Walter's a complete badass in this volume. I'm going to say that and leave it at that. There are a series of flashbacks throughout this whole volume that explain where Alucard came from and how it was first involved with the Hellsing organization. This is pretty difficult to do because I'm not used to skipping that many pages. But I do want to keep those pages of just the fighting between a final battle between 2 characters just as a prize for a lot of people. So there are a series of splash pages here. There's a series of spread pages. I love the way they do spread pages. Just like this. Yeah, there are bars in the middle, but you don't have any gutter loss at all. We always worry about gutter loss when coming to spread pages when it comes to collected editions. But there's just so much violence and brutality in these pages. Oh, they're so awesome. And, I mean, let's just call it what it is. This is a big fight between vampires, Nazis, and the Vatican. That's what Hellsing is. There's not really a deeper philosophical story here. You're not going to find things like you do in Berserk. This to me is just balls out action. It's what you get on the covers is what you get on the inside. It's a guy that happens to be a vampire with guns blasting away at the supernatural villains that show up. And Nazis. So this is a huge final fight between those 3 groups, the Vatican, what were they called, the Millennium, I think, which is just a Nazi group, and the Hellsing organization. And it is badass how it turns out. A lot of characters die, some of them change, like I mentioned. And there's a lot of surprises. And it's not just vampires, there's all kinds of supernatural creatures in here. But this is the type of artwork to expect. There's my girl Sarah's. Always been a big fan of hers. This is what the action sequences look like. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of guts. There's a lot of bones crunching. So if you're weak at the stomach, you may want to avoid these type of stories. And there's Integra being all badass herself. Like I mentioned, new characters. Well, maybe they're new. Or maybe you've seen them before. Some amazing artwork in here. By now, Hirano has gotten just used to these characters. So he is drawing them a lot different than when they first appeared. And I wanted to point these panels out because the translations are done right outside of the panel or sometimes in the panel. But that rarely happens. Most of the time, the translations for the sound effects are done outside of the panel. Like so. So you don't have to look in the back for an index or anything like that. Just showcasing another spread page from the book. Badass. I have to show how over the top the violence gets. So this is just a small taste of what's in here. But this fight is so awesome. This is just two characters just blasting away at each other. And I love the translations here for the sound effects on Sarah's end. They're all done in Japanese. And over here, they're done in the traditional, I guess, Western style. So that's pretty interesting. But yes, absolutely love the action sequences in this manga. They are some of the best. And as I mentioned, yes, this is a lot of violence. You're going to see a lot of decapitation in here, a lot of just dismemberment of bodies, people's bodies split in half. Might be your favorite character that gets shot in the head, so keep that in mind. And this is the final battle. Now, let's skip all the way to the end, to the extras. So this is Crossfire, and Crossfire is pretty interesting because this was a story that he was telling, that Hirano was telling towards the beginning of his Hellsing run. So it works like a side story, a Gaiden, if you will. But this features the characters of Heinko Wolf and Yumi. That's who shows up here. Of course, there are younger versions of them. And there's also cameos by other characters from Hellsing. So this all is collected at the end of this volume right here. So once you finish reading Hellsing, you can read the side story if you want. Now, this is really cool because Dark Horse also collected a bunch of things that was not available here in America. So this is the first time this stuff has been collected, like his notes. These are the chapter breaks for each of the volumes. And there's a lot of just comedy comics back here, just comedic comics that he drew, which kind of gets ridiculous, but they're pretty funny. I've never seen this stuff translated into English, so it's nice to have it here just in one sitting. And there's also some character designs and sketches back here. This kind of makes me want his other collections. Oh, these are the Dust Jacket. Yeah, the Dust Jacket artwork here. Makes me wish that his other collection, what was it, the Descenders? Or Drifters. Drifters was collected in this format. Or I'd love to have Trigun in this oversized format. Alright, I'm going to do my list, I promise, of manga that deserves to be in Deluxe Edition. So one of the things you're probably noticing here is we go from this paper that they use for the entire series, this flat matte paper, to this just a little bit thinner glossy paper. And that's to collect these right here, the cartoons. But that can't be the only reason, right? There's got to be another reason. So, here we have the actual covers. Not only do we have the covers, so we have the original cover, just in this full-size format with no words, but also the back cover to the original manga. So all 10 covers are collected here for the first time. I was worried they were going to skip this, and I'm hoping they do this. Here, I'll skip a couple. Let's get to... I'm hoping they do this for Blade of the Immortal. So I know they're collecting the covers on Blade of the Immortal in black and white, which just doesn't sit well with me. So I'm hoping that they collect the covers in color towards the end. I guess that would be volume 10 of Blade of the Immortal. That would be awesome. But that's it. This is all you get, and then you get a little bio back here of the creator, Kohta Hirano. The book retails for $49.99 and has 704 pages. And that, as they say, is that. By the way, that's also a sticker. Don't know why I'm keeping that on there. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for US customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the page count, the build, and the content of this deluxe edition. That's it. Game over. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any more questions, if you're picking this up, if you've never read Hellsing, if you had any idea what it was about, if you watched the anime, or if you watch Hellsing Ultimate, or if you have been picking up the Hellsing Deluxe Editions and this is your first time reading it. I would love to know all those comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon, amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And thank you so much to our existing patrons. Now, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.